Starting a new series. So in this world, US and Russia swap places. So Russia is over here. If you are known about this stuff, this country is Russia, but all of the population, all the demographics, and everybody are swapped. So Canada now has to deal with a country to itself that doesn't like it at all. It is Russia. Vladimir Putin versus Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau will probably still lose, but this is basically what happens. Russia is now over here. Canada is still a part of NATO. We have to fill in all the Canadian islands here. And there was another video, but it's not really a series. This is gonna be a series, a mapping series, obviously. And we're gonna be. And if this series is popular, we'll do other countries are swapped as well. So Canada, Greenland, Iceland. I think Iceland's part of NATO. I could be wrong, but UK, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium. Basically, these are all the members. And of course, French Guiana. This island down here. I don't know which one's Mauritius and which one's not. But I think Mauritius is this one. I could be wrong. I think Mauritius is the closer one. You have Italy, Croatia, and now the US, which is now in Russia, is a member of NATO. So let's just say, someone kicked a rock and this is what the world looks like now, and the US owns this. As well. Also, all these countries join our part of NATO as well. I think that's everybody. So this is basically the map now. Russia is on its own. The only two countries that borders now is Mexico and Canada. Well, Russia has now all of America's crises are transferred except for one, which is the border crisis. Unlike the president of America, Vladimir Putin is not gonna have this happen. So Vladimir Putin is really gonna invade Mexico and take out the cartels, because Putin is a very tough leader, and that's what he does. He also, there was a recent Mexican election. Basically, Vladimir Putin basically takes over Mexico and forces Mexico to become its, kind of like a puppet state or something. But that will be later in the series. Also, Russia would control Hawaii as well, and they would also control Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico is now owned by Russia. So also all the American territories are also controlled by Russia now. Russia will basically create a new alliance. This is the Nicaragua will join, Cuba will join as they are a friend of Russia, and Venezuela will join. So these are all of Russia's friends. Also Belarus will join, and Kazakhstan and these countries up here will join because they still hate America as well. So this is basically Russia's alliance at this point. So as well. Also, North Korea and China joined to make it more interesting as well. And basically, BRICS might become an official military alliance. But at this point, Russia, okay, what's that give Russia any allies? Russia is on its own. These countries arrange support away from Russia because they don't border Russia. The only reason why they were friends with Russia is because they've bordered Russia. So Russia is going to have to make new friends. So Russia is going to create a new alliance with Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Cuba. These countries are going to be friends with Russia as well. So these countries automatically just join Russia's alliance. They're like, hey, our best buddies here, so we're gonna all join the group as well. Meanwhile, the border crisis continues, and this starts a war between Russia and Mexico. Mexico is invaded by Russia and the Russian army as well, with help from the allies, including Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. All sent troops to fight against Mexico, as basically it was revealed that the whole border crisis thing that was happening before the mysterious American Russia swapping places was to destabilize America. Now, because Russia is friends with Venezuela, they don't need to do that anymore. So basically, they start saying they start to just invade Mexico, and the Mexican president frees the new president that flees to basically another country before Mexico is taken out. And Mexico is basically established as a pro-Russia dictatorship. That's what happens. And Mexico is now established as a pro-Russian dictatorship. So Mexico is now basically pro-Russia. They, are now a puppet state of Russia. So basically that's what happens to Mexico as well. Also, more countries want to apply to join Russia's alliance, including Syria, Lebanon, and Iran. These countries are still friends of Russia, and they don't like the idea of America bordering them as well. Also, China joins because they feel threatened by America being right on the side, alongside of North Korea. America opts to expand NATO to protect the Pacific countries, so Japan joins, Korea joins, and the Philippines joins, as these countries all hate China. So these countries all join the NATO as well. Ukraine also finally joins NATO as well. This isn't too surprising. Ukraine applied to join NATO, and considering that the U.S. is right there, Ukraine applied to join NATO. Meanwhile, Belarus is still going to be very stubborn and support Russia. Even though they're literally surrounded by all of these other countries. But Belarus is still going to be very stubborn as well. Meanwhile, the U.S., they start to invade. The U.S. starts to see the concerns of these countries down here, and they start to intervene in the Libyan conflict. Basically, because they have more influence, they basically put an end to the civil war in Libya, and Libya is just split into half. This is the U.S. This side of Libya becomes a NATO ally, and this country stays neutral. So this is the U.S. occupied country. This part of Libya will become an ally of the U.S. as well. Meanwhile, Syria finishes the civil war with the help of Russia and Iran as well. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia doesn't know what to think anymore because you have this area here. Also now, there is no real concern over Russian natural gas, as the U.S. now controls all of Russia's resources. So this is basically, Germany and all the European countries like, finally, a good country. The only country they avoid is Belarus, and basically as well. Meanwhile, Moldova joins NATO alongside, and also Serbia is finally forced to recognize Kosovo as an independent country. Also, Kosovo joins Romania as a single country. This isn't as far-fetched as we've seen it, but yeah, basically Moldova joins with... The same thing happens with Kosovo and Albania. Kosovo doesn't exist anymore, now it's a part of Albania. However, Israel applies to be a member of NATO, and they just accept Israel's membership in the NATO. Meanwhile, this causes a very big controversy, as, yeah, Israel is a very disliked country among many NATO members, but basically they finished the Gaza war and Gaza is defeated. However, Gaza remains here. So, meanwhile, Palestine is not really it's recognized as an independent country here. This country land is Palestine, so basically all these people here will be an independent country. Meanwhile, more Russian interventions in Latin America continues with Ecuador's civil war. There is a new civil war in Ecuador. This is the land controlled by the drug cartels here, and also now is a new pro-Russian faction that says, "Hey, we want to be friends with Russia." So this side basically, fights a war, and there's two sides to the war. Russia intervenes to help the pro-Russian faction, so the pro-Russian faction continues to expand their influence in this country here, and also the government of Ecuador does surrender at this current moment, and basically another Latin American country now falls onto Russia's side. Several more countries are probably to be a part of Russia's alliance, basically these two Central Asian countries, who are basically under the influence of China, same thing with Kazakhstan. Because of China's influence, these countries still are a part of this alliance. So this expands Russia's alliance even more, and yeah, that's about the series. So basically, part one, there was no collapses on either side yet, but yeah, that's about this video here. Goodbye.